All right. I guess I can start us off then. Welcome to Global Hack Week Beginners Day 2.
Super excited to see everyone here. I think everyone's starting to file in. But we'll just be walking through a schedule for today and answering any questions y'all have about Global Hack Week or MLH.
Try to give him 30 seconds and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. All right. So once again, welcome to Day 2 of Beginners Week. We've got lots of fun things in store, and if you're brand new to something, I guarantee you'll learn plenty. And so let's go ahead and meet us. My name is Cecilia. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking, and last year I read over 150 books. So I'm challenging myself to do 200 this year, and not all will be in English because I was trying to do that last year and then I didn't. So this year, maybe.
That's quite impressive. My name is Gabriella. I'm also a coach at Major League Hacking, and a fun fact about me is that the first time I got a passport, the Department of State misspelled my name on it, so I had to immediately send it back to get that fixed.
It took 12 weeks instead of 6 then.
Yes. It was something really simple too. I think they added an extra E or something, and I was so frustrated, but we got it fixed.
I have to renew mine soon, and I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm a little terrified of what might happen. Alrighty. And how was yesterday? I did take a peek at yesterday. We are in the new year. Yesterday's streams looks like a lot of friendly stuff. Looks like you learned a little bit about web dev, a bit about Python. Very balanced, classic. Also got into GitHub Copilot, so I might check out that stream. I don't know much about Copilot, but definitely worth checking out. How about you, Gabriella? Did you see anything?
I didn't see anything yesterday, but I did run a workshop on portfolio building, so that was super fun.
Ooh.
I got to hang out with a bunch of y'all. We talked through selecting portfolio projects and designed out one. Did briefly went into coding that, so it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Love portfolio websites. They're just perfect for when you're first getting started into web dev, but also it's a great way to market yourself.
Absolutely. I think they're always so fun to design and pick out little pieces as well. Shows a lot of creativity.
Yeah. Once upon a time ago, when I was remaking my portfolio, I went to this really old GitHub that used to have people would submit their portfolios in a hacker group, like the old 2016, 2010-ish hackathon people. And I just went through every page and just being all right, everybody's doing the wave hello. We're not going to do that. Everybody's doing this thing. Okay, but I actually really like this thing. Total deep dive. And then I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
You're being strategic.
I burned myself out a bit, so would not recommend going that far. Seems like people liked your workshop, though. Definitely make sure you check it out on YouTube and Twitch. I'm pretty sure those recordings should be up.
Yes. And that'll be the case with if you missed anything yesterday, you can go check it out on Twitch or YouTube. But as far as what's happening today, you can head to ghw.mlh.io/schedule, and you can access the different workshops going on today, add them to your calendar, and also register for your MLH points through the website as well.
Awesome. If you want to start us off?
Yes. So first today, after this, we'll have an Intro to Web Dev workshop led by Zane, and this will be at 2 p.m. Eastern or 12:30, 30 a.m. IST. So early morning, and this will be a cool workshop if you're looking to get into web dev, make a website.
Probably a great way to jump from portfolio into what else can you do with those skills you just learned? They'll be super prepared.
Exactly.
All right, and then there's me. So I'm actually going through GitHub Basics today at 4 p.m. Eastern or 2:30 a.m. So if you happen to still be awake, don't go to bed, but definitely check out the recording after. We'll talk about the basics, level 1, so to speak, push, pull. Level 2 being branches and how you might use them. Level 3 getting into the things of okay, now what do I do? Open source, forking, merging, cherry picking. There's plenty of different ways you might mess up the timeline in GitHub and rewrite history, but we'll talk a little bit about how you might get away from that and be a little bit less stressed when you go ahead and check out all these different branches, commits, etc. Basically, fantastic for the rest of this week. as you save your work, as you make sure that you can go back in time in case you don't know why things don't work. Definitely check out my workshop. We'll do a little bit of interactive stuff. So you won't actually just sit there and take notes. We'll actually do some stuff. We'll make a repo, etc. Yeah. And it'll be, like I said, super useful for the rest of the week, given everybody's projects that everybody's working on.
For sure. I think that GitHub is like one of the best beginner like skills everyone should learn. So this is a good workshop to check out.
I'm also bringing my SunHacks presentation for it, like all the fun poppy colors. So it's been 3 years since I've given it. My the new SunHacks organizers give it nowadays, not me, but it'll be nice to see how much I remember from something I wrote 5 or 6 years ago.
For sure. A nice little challenge. And then after that, we'll have a Making a Productivity app using Next.js. You can join ESA at 6 p.m. Eastern or 4:30 a.m. IST. And if the time zones don't work out for you, you can always check this out on the recordings afterwards. This looks like a cool way to kind of level up those web skills using a cool framework.
Also, freshly 2024, get your New Year's resolutions trackers in.
Exactly.
All right, then we've got Newful with cybersecurity essentials for developers. I actually really love this idea, mostly because as we use libraries, as we get into new languages, we're not always super sure about, how safe is the library we're using. And I'm sure that's not just the only topic they'll talk about, but definitely check it out. Good to have this on your mind. Solving security issues before is way better than solving them after. So definitely check them out at 2 a.m. Eastern or 12:30 p.m. IST.
Absolutely. I will definitely be checking that one out. I miss my cybersecurity class, so want to learn some more this week.
Nice.
And then after that, you can also join Newfall for a mini event for GeoGuessr. This is always a fun mini event. This will be at 6 a.m. Eastern or 4:30 p.m. IST.
Wonderful. And then we have UT at 7 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. IST, where you're learning Python by building simple projects, part 3. So lots of fun stuff. Looks like continuations. I think that was actually one of the ones I saw yesterday. So it seems like y'all got a lot done. Definitely look forward to it.
Sure. And if you missed part 1 or 2, you can always check out those recordings on Twitch or YouTube. I know sometimes I miss the first part of a series. But after that, you can join Dimmer for Hack with Dimmer. This will be at 9 a.m. Eastern or 7:30 p.m. IST. I'm not quite sure what they'll be doing, but Dimmer streams are always a blast, so be sure to check them out.
Definitely. Highly recommend. I always end up catching like the tail end of Dimmers, and there's just always things going on, which is very exciting. And then I'm like, oh, but I'm next. Oh no.
Yeah. No pressure.
Dimmer's got great energy and honestly great hacks. Love it.
And then, yes, this tomorrow, I'll also be leading Today in Global Hack Week, but this time with Newfall. It'll be the same thing as we're doing today, but for day 3, just running through the schedule, answering any questions. And this will also be happening at 12 p.m. Eastern or 10:30 p.m. IST. So super excited to see what y'all do during day 2 tomorrow.
You can ask how my workshop went and then give me some feedback.
Yes.
All right, so at this point, it's time for Q&A. We also made sure that throughout this, you could ask questions. So we do have a bit of a backlog, so let's go ahead and get right into it. But feel free to keep asking questions. We're here to make sure that you are set to go for this week and also for that month-long hackathon that's going on. Great way to double dip and figure out if you can, bump your project just to the next level,
Exactly.
Alrighty. First up, we have getting MLHDs, other swag, and other things from GHW. Well, the basic gist is participate. Attend these Today in Global Hack Weeks, attend workshops, make sure you sign up for events and check in. Every streamer, every person will actually be posting an event link, which I will double check and post that right now. So if you haven't checked in for Today in Global Hack Week, please do. This is how you record basically your participation. Other ways you might be able to get non-GHW swag, but like looking into, say, our month-long hackathon or other events that we're hosting, definitely check in for things, be active, just be engaging. Gabriella, anything you want to add?
I think like you mostly covered everything. I would just update to make sure that you have like your correct shipping information in like MLH's like website so that like everything's up to date and it's not getting sent to a different address or your shipping information is incomplete. So you're just like able to receive all that swag you earned.
I'm pretty sure that's still hackpack/address, possibly.
Yes, that's as far as I know, that's where you can update that.
Cool. It's been a minute, so I'm
Yeah.
like, But definitely check that out. Of course, you're welcome to ask questions in the Discord, especially if you're still stuck, still kind of confused, and we haven't been able to answer it here, or you have to log off, or you're watching the recording of this. Discord's always available for more questions. All right, what else we got? There's a join hackathon option in DevPost. Should we also join there? Gabriella, you want to take this?
Yes, I would say I would definitely join there, if you're interested in completing the challenges for Global Hack Week. This is, like, where you can receive, like, the most up-to-date information and submit any, like, deliverables as a part of those challenges. And then, also, if you're interested in the month-long hackathon, I think that's a great, activity to do kind of, like, in tandem with Global Hack Week. So I think that definitely joining the hackathon, is a great idea.
Solid. And we have which Discord channel is best to post tech help questions regarding the hacks that we're working on? Are there any language specific roles? I'm going to answer them in reverse, where typically with MLH, it is English first, just because a majority of our mentors, judges, etc., it's our common language. And then, of course, Jean-Marie with the follow-up. Love it. Love the engagement from the community. Definitely check out the technical chat in Discord. That's definitely where you would go to ask tech help questions, find a mentor. Mentors are online periodically. And you'll definitely be able to hopefully get answers. And if not, just keep an eye on it. Sometimes someone actually might be doing a stream and you might be able to ask them there too.
For sure. And I think that, like, if you're, like, asking like specific technical questions, maybe you have a bug or something specific to your project, just kind of providing as much context as, like, possible is always super helpful. Because if you talk about, like, which specific language and framework you're using, as well as, like, the things you've already tried and, like, aren't working, I think that's a great way to kind of guide that mentor's help to help you hopefully find a solution faster.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, have you been on Stack Overflow looking for that one answer to your question and you're like, someone has not given enough context for me to understand whether this is the question that I need answered?
Exactly.
Screenshots are essential. Descriptions, code, framework, everything. The more information you can give, the better.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. We've completed about 8 or 9 challenges. Yes, love to see it. Are these enough to get MLHTs and stickers? Good question. I don't have the answer off the top of my head. Gabriella, do you?
I don't either. I can send a message real quick and see if we'll get a response before the end of this. But short answer, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head either. If we can't get an answer before the end of the stream, you are definitely welcome to check out MLH. I think it's ghw.mlh.io, and that will actually give you more information about Global Hack Week, how you're working with it, etc., what you can do. And I would be very surprised to find that it's not on that website. Oh, actually, there are no t-shirts for GHW. Thank you very much. We love that people are reading things because sometimes we have so much information we don't know what applies where. But fair enough. So if you're not able to get a t-shirt from GHW, which unfortunately seems to be the case, you can definitely check out going to an MLH event. MLH events will generally have season t-shirts. Of course, they are get them while you can. So right after an MLH event, like a mini event during the actual hackathon, that is your time. So either you win the mini event or you're just there participating or you're first in line. That's the best way to get it.
Absolutely. I found that, like, at large events, like, where I run out of t-shirts quickly, going to the first mini event too, kind of, like, showing up, like, a few minutes early too, is a great way to make sure you end up getting that season t-shirt.
True enough. I used to do that too. Plus, it was like a brain break. It's good for you. All right, GoDaddy free domain. Gabriella, maybe you know?
Specifically for this event, I don't know, like, if we're giving out codes in general. I know that we frequently do run GoDaddy challenges at hackathons, so that's a good way to get a GoDaddy free domain. We'll have codes for that. As far as GHW specifically for this week, I don't know offhand, like, if we're giving out free domains.
I think the best way to check is probably going through DevPost or through GHW, like the website itself. Those will only be your main resource for answering questions. If you still can't answer them, of course, there's here where we don't always know everything, but there's also Discord where you can definitely get an answer. But it looks like people in chat are already chiming in. Love that. Seems like here's a website, hackpack/GHW BW24-GoDaddy registry, and there's a code in chat. I'll briefly show it for those who are going to look at the recording later, making sure that people can see it. And then oh wow, lots of people chatting. Let's scroll back up a bit. Cybersec essentials will be good. Yeah, duh. Always
Obviously.
good to have, even if it's an overview, just confirming what you know is also super nice. I mean, Gabriella, you were mentioning that you missed your cybersecurity class. Like,
Mhm. I think it'll be a good, like, refresher because, like, it's been, like, 2 years since I've taken cybersecurity, and I always loved, like, getting to hear, like, the, like, current events from my professor in that class, so I think, like, the applied aspect of it will be interesting to kind of learn more about.
oh, for sure. Alrighty. I know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, can understand others' code, but I'm unable to build my own. Fam, same. That's why we're doing this. As for a way of learning new stuff, how to build a product the practical way, I mean, practice makes perfect, but there is no perfect in engineering and computer science. There's only continuing to program within the constraints of the requirements. Generally, I mean, the way I approach things is like these streams are actually the streams that I end up doing are usually ones where I'm learning new things with people, or I understand that I don't have all the knowledge. People who are watching the stream may not have all the knowledge, but together we might collectively have the knowledge to do better than just us as individuals. So I'm always Googling Stack Overflow, occasionally ChatGPT, even though I don't 100% rely on it because it hallucinates. Um, so I'm always building brand new projects on streams. So you could challenge yourself. You could even stream for yourself. You could join streams and code along. Any other things, Gabriella?
I would say let's just, like, kind of try diving into things. I know it can be difficult at times, but I found that, like, working on projects, specifically at, like, Global Hack Week or hackathons is a great way to kind of, like, force yourself to learn very quickly because you're taking in so much information all at once, and I found that, like, even though it's, like, not perfect or, like, close to perfect at the end, you're still, like, iterating it and, like, you're making progress, so I think that's a great way to kind of improve your like practical web dev skills. And it'll of course get better as you build more projects and figure out the bugs that you've had in the past as like time has passed and you can think about it a little bit.
That actually brings up a good point as well. Something I did last Global Hack Week, or perhaps I did a brief stream on it. I can't remember. Things are starting to blur. Last year was both so far and so close. What you might also do is look at your old projects and see, like, if I were to go back and do this project again today with the knowledge that I have now, what would I change? What would I do better? What were like past me's mistakes that you now know, like, oh, I could have fixed it this way, and then you can go and do that. So it's also like very encouraging sometimes when you come back to an old project to see how much you've grown and also to see like, okay, like what are some quick things I can do to improve it. So basically kind of like refresh your projects. It's also great for your resume. It's great for when you're talking to recruiters to be like, yeah, I went back to my old projects and I changed this, this, and this. And they'll be interested in that because you have commitment to coming back to old projects like that, as well as like a willingness to return to things that were maybe not great at the time.
Absolutely. I think it's also really encouraging, like when you go back and see like how much quicker you're able to figure things out. Whenever I was going through like course material, like when I was coming back as a TA versus like when I was a student, I was able to finish assignments that took me like a whole week in the past to like finish in like half an hour. And like that was like really encouraging to see like, okay, like I'm actually learning things and making progress. So I think like the same thing can be said for your old projects too.
Love that. Every so often, I will talk to some students that I'm TAing for, and I'm like, "Wow, I struggled on this, and now you're struggling like I did. Let me fix this. Let's unpack this." Alrighty. Obtaining swag, stickers, T-shirts while being in a different country. Well, I can't speak specifically for Pakistan. Generally, with the exception of some countries, depending on embargoes and a couple other things, global affairs do be affairing. You will generally just get it shipped as long as your address is accurate. So just make sure that your address is updated in Hackpack address. Let's see.
Yes. I
GitHub
just
tricks. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just check like online to see like which specific countries are like embargoed, just like we can't ship to. And then also just like expect that it'll take a little bit longer than if you were in the US. So have to be like a little bit more patient for receiving the swag.
Definitely. Alrighty, as for the GitHub Tricks event, I'll be running that. Like I said, we'll be talking through 3 different levels of like working with GitHub, the common things where you're cloning, pushing, and pulling. So if you're familiar with those or even just setting up a new repo, that'll be about level 1. If you're not familiar, definitely check it out. We'll go through it slow. I'll explain all the little potential traps that you might fall into or just explain the terminology. Level 2 will be things like branching, where you're working with multiple people, working together. running the risk of merge conflicts and how you might manage that, but also how you develop in a safe way that ensures that you always have a functioning project at the end. And then the final third part will be the more complex things like handling merge conflicts, cherry picking, pretty much how you might go, oh no, I've broke the timeline. How do I fix the timeline and rewrite things? We'll talk conceptually about that. I generally try not to break GitHub when I'm on stream because sometimes I can't solve it in time. It do take time, requires patience generally. That's what we'll be covering to make sure that at least if it happens to you, you can calmly go through and be like, all right, I can figure it out. That's the goal at least. Alrighty.
Someone asked,
Sorry.
this person isn't registered in any school. How do I go about getting the GitHub student developer registration? I know directly through GitHub, they won't allow you to register if you're not currently enrolled in a school. On occasion, I know you can gain access to a few pieces through MLH. And if you're talking specifically about the challenge, like someone said, you can just like type in the type form that you can't use the student developer pack because you're not currently enrolled in a school.
Love it. And what can we expect in the Hack with Dimmer event? Generally surprises. Dimmer is very creative and also relies a lot on chat participation to guide what they're next going to do. So honestly, you're better off just attending, seeing what it's about, seeing how you can contribute with ideas or questions, or even just interacting with what they're making on stream, because they generally also do that. I think that's the best way to probably explain it.
Yes, you can expect a good time. We'll just say that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Any others? Covered that briefly.
Best way to stay updated about MLH events is to sign up for our email list. You'll receive periodic updates about the different events that are going on and different like initiatives that MLH is running. And then also following us on social media is a good way to see when hackathons are coming up, when Global Hack Week is coming up. And if you're really curious about like learning about kind of like partner hackathons or events, you can always head to the MLH website, and we have the entire season's like event like listing under hackathons. So that's a great way to kind of stay updated about everything we're doing.
Yeah. And if you're on the Discord, I'm pretty sure you'll probably get notifications every time there's a new event. If not, just check back periodically, see if there's an event happening, and go ahead and jump in and join.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So regarding the MLH Fellowship, attending a hackathon boost my probability of getting accepted as an MLH Fellow? We can't guarantee that, unfortunately, just because we're not involved in that process. But hackathons are a great way for you to come up with a small project, for you to practice good coding skills, and generally to create something in a short amount of time. I know that for the fellowship application, generally you're asked to submit a code sample. So a hackathon project, or a project you've done outside of class, or sometimes a project done in class, depending on the restrictions and how many people have done it, for the sake of uniqueness. Those will generally boost your probability in the sense of you already have a code sample. You already have something that you've made. And so what you can do in the lead up into your application is just improve the code. Because now you're not working within the constraints of a hackathon like it's over, that you can come back and like we said earlier with like learning and improving, you come back and you're like, okay, like let me improve the comments. Let me see if there's like a better library out there. Let me, just make the code cleaner, make sure it's understandable, just so that way when people do read that code sample, that people understand what you were trying to do and not the hackathon hangover haze that comes with okay, like just get it done. So definitely recommend, yes, hackathon, but doing a hackathon for the sake of putting a project together is still just valuable in itself. Really, a code sample doesn't have to be done at a hackathon. It can be done anywhere.
Absolutely. I think also like a hackathon would be useful like throughout the process, like both for like applying for the fellowship, also just kind of in general. Because I think that the demo videos and filling out the dev posts is a great way to kind of improve your like technical communication skills, which I think is also a really important process of the MLH fellowship application, but also kind of just like getting a job or internship in general. I think being able to communicate what you did is like a great skill to have.
Definitely. Alrighty. And admission letter only mentions the admission date and not the graduation date. Generally, GitHub development pack, I think, will ask for a transcript or like evidence of current classes signed up for. At least that's what they do to me. Just because sometimes my email, even though it's a university email, doesn't quite expire after we graduate, so they just want to double check. So I would say, see what they ask for and do your best to try and get in. If you're having trouble, I know that you can definitely like open MLH tickets, or I think actually through GitHub you might be able to submit. There was a type form earlier that people said that you can't, if you can't get it for a challenge at MLH, submit on the type form. But as far as actually getting the developer pack itself, GitHub usually has channels for you to actually submit, like, hey, still having issues. Hey, can I get some help? And then they're fairly quick about getting back to people. But your mileage may vary, unfortunately.
Sure. And sometimes you can use things outside of like admissions or like transcripts. I know like my school like doesn't like make it super easy to access my transcripts. So I've submitted things like a dated financial aid document or like my like course schedule, like the like wasn't necessarily a transcript. So if you have something like that that's dated, that can also be a way to access the developer pack.
I think I usually just take a screenshot of my current courses, and then like I try to make sure there's like a semester and a year in there, so that way they know. But I've been subject to that screening too. I believe this is for how to apply. It's fellowship.mlh.io. If not, there's I think resources in Discord. Gabriella?
Yes, I will go double check on the specific channel on that. But outside of like the like application, there's also like frequently asked questions on the website. And I'm sure you're able to find previous fellowship people in the Discord. There is also it's fellowship dash FAQ in the Discord where you can ask any questions you have about that.
Perfect. Chat's help on us out, fellowship.mlh.io. I just actually tested to make sure the link worked. It does work. Apply there. Alrighty. Demo videos are indeed hard. I do not miss that. Time zone's different here, may not be able to participate. Most of the sessions, if not all of them, are recorded. Generally, if they're not immediately up, it's just that some things are happening behind the scenes, but they will be available for sure by the end of the week. But generally, they're up like immediately after, so you should be able to actually see them.
Yes, and most of the time, the streamers will share the code sample live in the chat or in the Discord, so you're able to follow along, even if you're not able to like actively talk in the chat during the session.
Awesome. All right, we're almost at the 30-minute mark. Any other questions? Give it a bit since there's a delay in stream.
Also, an update, we have not received a response on Global Hack Week swag yet, so feel free to find that on the website or ask in the Discord in the meantime.
I'm going to check dev post if you want to handle questions.
Okay.
Maybe I can figure it out from here.
What can we expect in the Making a Productivity app with Next? I am new in Next. Will it be beginner friendly? It's Beginners Week, so all of these streams will be beginner friendly. If you find that something in this stream to be challenging or you're a little confused on, just be sure to pop a question into the chat, and you're able to follow along with the code afterwards if you get confused. But it's Beginners Week, so everything this week will be beginner friendly. I'm from Lebanon and we don't have addresses. Is it okay if I use a Google Maps location? That is a very good question. I don't know how that would work with the HackPack form. So I think that's a good question to ask in maybe the shipping channel. Like under help in the Discord, would go to ask MLH and submit a ticket because I'm not quite sure what to do in this particular instance.
Alrighty, I have an answer about swag. So if you go to ghw.mlh.io/swag, it will tell you what you can earn. And the short version of that is that to earn basic swag, which includes a sticker pack and postcard, generally it's the hexagons and then the like, thanks for participating, which is super cute. Then you have to make sure that you've checked into the Global Hack Week event, which includes joining the MLH community Discord server, submitting an address on HackPack/address, and completing all of the registration challenges. There's also bonus swag, which includes extra stickers, being that as long as you've attended at least 5 live sessions at GHW, then you can earn some stuff. And so it looks like there's some previews on that page. So I'm going to go ahead and post this in chat. If someone already has, then great, I don't have to do it. But it'll tell you that there's character stickers, sticker packs, postcards, and hex stickers. So lots of opportunity to get stickers. And posting that link for everybody. So definitely check that out.
Awesome. Super exciting. Okay. It looks like we have a little more context about the address situation in Lebanon. If you normally go to the post office to receive your packages, I would just put that address, like the other person said. I think that would make the most sense with how our system works. And then you can go pick it up in person like you normally do. As far as the stickers, we'll have MLH stickers and Global Hack Week stickers in your swag. We customize them to different Global Hack Weeks, as well as have some that are kind of standard for MLH. So you'll kind of see like those as you earn them.
Did you already answer Tamarin Seven's making a productivity app question?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm just scrolling through and catching up since I was Googling. Cool. Alrighty. We are now past the 30 mark. Any other questions?
Are there daily challenges that expire, or are they weekly? I believe we have both this week, both daily challenges and overall Global Hack Week challenges. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cecilia, but
No, I'm pretty sure. Generally, there's going to be a week-long or a couple of the week-long ones that are like just bigger projects or bigger requirements. And then there's the daily challenges like attend a live stream, register for this, register for that.
Will you get notified when swag arrives? Typically, we'll send you like a shipping email when things have shipped. But as far as arrival, I think you can check in with your local postal service and they'll have a better idea of like when things will be arriving.
So I have a question for you, Gabriella. Last time we chatted, you were talking about a new craft that you'd gotten into, which like it wasn't like making carpets. It was punching something with what was it called again?
Rug tufting. It's like making carpets, but like you're punching the needle into the frame. I haven't done too much of that since we last talked, but I am like mostly done with a very bad Kermit the Frog carpet I'm making for my friend. Looks a little scary right now because I messed up the eyes, but that's almost done. And then I'm also making a few coasters for my apartment, so we stopped getting rings on our table. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Cute. Oh, that's exciting. Alrighty. No more questions have come in. I think we might be good to wrap up.
Yes. If you have any questions after this that you didn't think of, you can always drop them in the Discord, but it was great getting to talk with y'all.
For sure. And of course, check out tomorrow's if you really want a live answer. But again, Discord is fairly active, so you should be able to get an answer pretty quickly.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Well, for those of you I'll see in my stream later today, looking forward to it. Again, very basic, should be very inclusive. Definitely join if there's things that you want to share. I love having people be like, hey, here's some things you may not have known about, because we are a good community that helps each other learn. So otherwise, enjoy the rest of your Global Hack Week today. See some of y'all later. And Gabriella, have fun tomorrow at Today in Global Hack Week.
For sure. Have fun at your GitHub workshop.
Awesome.
Okay.